Episode 162.
Woo!
You got to keep that in check, dude.
I know, because of the baby. I got the baby in the background, so I got to keep that low.
Another year older, another new development. Jamie is a dad.
No, that was already announced. So we had done episodes when I was a dad.
Oh, really?
The people who were not dad, were the person who was not a dad when this episode was Patrick. Patrick now is a dad.
Oh.
But he's not on this episode. He's not on this
now
episode.
Married.
That's
R.I.P.,
the bigger
dude.
news. That's the bigger news. Brahm himself. So. Ladies, my Mercedes, he's off the market.
Table.
So
it's crazy, dude.
Sorry, not sorry.
What are we supposed to do now? This is just a podcast of married men?
Yeah. We were talking before the pod. Jamie has house shoes.
I got house shoes because my feet are in a bad state because I'm an old man. And I wear glasses on the podcast now.
Rapidly approaching 40. Nothing left to live for.
You don't even want to know what time we're recording at. Because it is so late that I want to kill myself. And that's 10 p.m.
Because it's 10 p.m. Because I have to get a kid down. And I live in Central Time. So it takes me a little bit, to do that. But yeah, I mean, there's been some big changes.
Yeah, we had to fit an obligatory 2025 episode in here because we had not recorded yet this year.
And who knows? Maybe
we
it'll
were
spur
running out of
us.
time.
Maybe this will just become how we get back into it and hit that elusive episode 250.
I'm down for it. There was a day where I was traveling. Actually, it was a week span. I inadvertently, unintentionally, watched 3 submarine movies.
Was it this year?
I wasn't even planning on it.
Was that this year?
If it was, no. It was last October, I think. I was on my way to Lake Tahoe. But because one thing I did want to do up top here, just like a little bit, like a warm up, because we haven't done the podcast in a while, was like a lot of people at the end of the year. We're nearing the end of the year. They do like top whatever episodes, like top 5 movies, top 10 movies of the year, top books of the year, kind of stuff. Do you guys have a top submarine moment of the year for yourselves?
Submarine
this year,
because I have one. I'll go. You guys can think on it. You know, me and Patrick, I don't know if you know this, but me and Patrick have a website. It's called bedmovietwins.com. That's bedmovietwins.com. It's not updated for a while. It's also kind of been a little bit in a tough spot, but we still watch the bad movies every week. And we always have our eye out for submarine films along the way. And one of the movies we watched this year was, do you guys know the movie Act of Valor? The one where it was like with the actual Navy SEALs.
Like actual Navy SEAls. I've heard of it. I have not seen it.
So we watched it, and the acting is so bad. But it has probably the single best submarine action scene I have ever seen, because it was done not just with cooperation of the Navy, but as Navy propaganda. So the Navy, they went all out. It is amazing. It's like an amazing.
Really?
Oh yeah. If there's anything you want, you don't have to watch that movie. Really, very much of it. Like a lot of it's just kind of like a regular old action film, but the submarine action in that film is off the chain. So that was my favorite submarine moment of the year.
I'm thinking the only thing I saw with a submarine in it this year was on my flight home from Japan. I watched the new Mission Impossible, which had quite a bit of submarine content.
Yeah, I know that did. I never actually saw that. I haven't seen anything past, I don't even know, number 5 or something in Mission Impossible. I have to catch up on that.
Well, it was pretty good, and a lot of good submarine action, so we will get to that on the podcast. It might be a few years, but we will get there.
Because Lord knows at this rate, it's going to take a minute.
It'd be funny. 2026, the first movie is part 1. And then 2027, we finish the series.
Do you know how many
have submarines, right?
Yes. Yeah. The first one ends with the submarine, and the second one, that's kind of the integral part of the movie. You guys know how many unique years we've recorded in now?
I would venture a guess that it is. It's going to be 10.
Is it
No.
9?
It's like 8.
Split the difference. It's 9 years. Yeah. This is our 9th.
Are you serious?
Yep.
No, it had to have been because I've moved and it's been a few years since I moved, and it would have been back in 2017 probably when we started, right? Something like that. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. That's dumb me, not taking into account 2017. Sub-content for me this year, if I can think of flashing back, it's got to be an episode of something like Peppa Pig or something along those lines, Every once in a while, they'll show up. They show up in those shows, and I'm like, hot damn, these kids don't understand just like how uncommon that is in real life.
It's true. It's kind of like when we watched that Street Sharks episode, and they were like, it's like a Sherman tank, and I was like, oh, wait, what? Kids don't know that shit. Come on, get out of here. What do they know about the Sherman tanks?
Dude, apparently that's all these kids get into nowadays, man.
That Street Sharks episode came up at work the other day because we were trying to figure out a name for a piece of equipment that we were getting, and they were talking about how it was like kind of like a 3-headed beast, something from like Greek mythology, and I was like, oh, what about a Scylla? It's just like a Scylla. That was from that Street Sharks episode.
Oh my god,
from Greek mythology.
Did they shoot that down?
No, they were into it.
Really?
Oh yeah, they loved it.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I picked up Street Sharks, the entire series on DVD on sale after we saw that. I think I got it for like $10 or something.
Your kids going through that like crazy? Gangbusters?
Probably worth like $11 now.
Yeah, I know, dude. It's you'd be surprised the amount of people I get come over and want to buy that off me.
Oh boy.
It's unreal.
That's another question, but that would be a whole other tangent, is whether you guys have picked up any in the absence of actually keeping up with you guys, whether you picked up any weird hobbies or collection type, things. I know, Bram, you were always into some kind of collection type stuff with the unboxing and some of that stuff you did. But I don't know if there's anything new on the horizon there. But
Labubu's.
Oh yeah, are you collect them? You collect Labubu's?
My wife does. My wife's
pretty
big into those, and
my wife.
She's easy to buy for Christmas. She just likes to collect anything cute and knick-knack stuff.
I've been dabbling with the idea of starting to collect movie tie-in books. So books where movies were made from the book, but then they release a version of the book where it has like the poster or like the actors' images on the cover of the book, right? So like
right, but they have actually nothing to do.
But like the Three Musketeers is one that I'm reading. Three Musketeers right now, right? And I have a Three Musketeers book that is from the 1993 with like Kiefer Sutherland and stuff. So I'm reading this Three Musketeers, a classic. And every time I pick it up, it's like Kiefer Sutherland, Chris O'Donnell, Oliver Platt. They're like staring up at me from this book. And it gives me so much pleasure that I'm just like, I should just do this for like a lot of books and just have a collection of books. And of course, Naveen probably would get down and be like, how much did you spend on that one? As he points to one, I'd be like, $25, because they don't release many of these things. Like they're kind of hard to come by. So
you know what you just reminded me of is earlier tonight, my kids were watching Shrek. And I was like, how the hell did they come up with the idea for Shrek? And did you guys know that was a book?
Yeah. No. Yeah. It was like a picture book, right?
Picture book from 1990, written at that time by an 83-year-old man.
Whoa.
I was like, hot damn, dude. Dropping Shrek like that? I didn't either. So I talk about the library a lot. Got it reserved at the library right now. So
this
was an hour ago.
You know, it probably doesn't have the story, right? Same feel. No, I don't know the whole story.
Oh, just the fact that they recorded like a huge portion of that movie with a different actor, Chris Farley, who then passed away, and then they re-recorded with Mike Myers, who changed it into being Scottish, because that's what he did in a lot of movies, like So I Married an Axe Murderer and stuff like that. He was always doing kind of a Scottish accent because his dad was from Scotland. And so that's also why Fat Bastard, he has the Scottish accent. Like he's, in a lot of stuff, Mike Myers was doing the Scottish accent. So he's just like, maybe Shrek is Scottish now. And that's what they went with.
Really?
Yeah.
This just became Shrek cast.
You could drop
what else
this.
do you know about Shrek here?
I don't know. Save that for exactly season 28. Shrek movies.
I gotta put that to my list. I gotta find where that is.
Because you got Puss in Boots. You can't forget Puss in Boots.
Let me see if season 28 is available, Jamie.
Probably
now,
not.
I'm gonna say, dude, the newest Puss in Boots is intense, man. It is Puss in Boots versus the literal personification of death.
Yeah, it's the 9 lives or whatever.
It's a children's movie. It's just crazy. But all of that is stemmed, the entire Shrek verse, from a 32-page children's picture book.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's what tells you what our aspiration should be. From a 162-episode podcast, you could spin off anything. We got so much lore, so much content, so much IP.
I hope maybe we can talk to my boy Jim Cameron and he can make a movie about us.
But why would we talk to Jim Cameron? I don't understand. Wait.
Oh, maybe because we're doing... What began as an innocent conversation among friends would soon spiral out of control and later be referred to by future generations as the eighth wonder of the modern world. Mac East Studios takes you on the journey of your lifetime as your captains, the artist formerly known as Brom, Jamie the Ointment, Kyle El Capitan, and the Gruesome Twosome present Submersion. Yes, we are doing Avatar 2, The Way of Water. This has been a while since this came out, 3 years.
I couldn't even believe that actually, because I saw this in theaters. I saw that. Did you guys see the original Avatar in theaters and stuff?
Yeah.
I saw that in 3D.
Did.
Yep. Saw this in 3D IMAX. Saw this one in 3D IMAX. Got tickets next week to see Fire and Ash.
Yeah, I need to do that because I always kind of, I don't know. There was something about these movies where you're just like, I'll do it. I do remember really liking the first one. I went and saw it as like a class. You know how like in college your class will go to movies or whatever. And I remember seeing the Dark Knight in theaters with like the class. I remember seeing Spider-Man 3 with my class in college. And I remember seeing...
In college?
Yeah.
It's never happened to us.
And I remember seeing Avatar with... And then liking it so much that I went with people that, on the floor that I lived in. That again, to a second time. So I saw it a second time in theaters because I was like, oh, it was good. Oh, people are going? Oh, sure, I'll go along. And kind of went. By the time the next one rolled around, I was just like, yeah, I'll go to it. But it wasn't the same kind of like fervor that it felt like at the time. But still, obviously a huge movie. And now this one does seem like 3 years should be enough time to get people's like blood pumping for a new one. But I can't tell. It's hard to tell, but I'll go. I'm going to go.
Well, I've been consuming a lot of. Wow, my hair just looks crazy right there. I've been consuming a lot of Avatar content.
Oh, good.
James Cameron was even saying that movie theater goings are down right now, so he's not really sure how this one's going to do. He's kind of been out there, saying, "Well, if this one does okay financially enough, we'll move forward with, number 4." And it's like, we'll see what happens.
There's no way this is like his project. He is so obsessed with Avatar.
Oh yeah,
he's gonna make it. He's like Vin Diesel with Riddick,
or Kevin Costner.
He'll do whatever he can to make more Riddick movies.
Those Western movies that he just continually makes and don't get released somehow. Anyways.
There is I had my headphones off for a second to fix this lion's mane of a hair I have. But there is another Riddick movie coming, isn't there? Like
Furia, I think, or something. Or did that one already come out? I think there's another one.
No. That has not come out yet.
Then yes,
there's I know you love those movies, Brom, and I was like, all right, I got to check these all out, and so I did over the last year or so. And I'd seen Pitch Black so many years ago, but then I was like, well, let me check out, the next one, and then which is just so different than Pitch Black, like wildly different. I was like, crazy, insane, had a blast with it. Watched Riddick. I was like, this is a lot of fun too. So
yeah, Chronicles of Riddick, big departure, and then a return to form with I think it's just called Riddick.
Yeah, it's just Riddick.
After, it was just like Pitch Black.
I've never
Almost
seen
too
him
much,
either.
just like Pitch Black. Pretty good.
Never seen him, Jamie?
Nope, never seen him.
Wow.
They're fun.
Pitch Black. I was talking with my brother-in-law about it, and he described it in a really nice way. He's just like, there's not an ounce of fat on that movie. I was like, dude, there's really not. It's just, it's good.
I mean, it's Vin Diesel, 0% body fat. So
I'm talking about.
he's shredded,
Dude.
shredded like lettuce,
He's like a side of beef, man. You know what I'm saying?
shredded like
Like
shredded.
a julienne salad.
Sorry, I'm back and I'm locked in. I had to record that season 28 is Shrek cast. I had to find my old seasons document for all of our planned
Was it
future
open?
podcasts. I can't find it. Find it.
okay.
It's somewhere. It's on the cloud
All
storage.
we need to
somewhere.
know is season 2 is trains, right?
I'm
So
pretty
we get
sure,
to
yeah.
that.
Is it trains?
pretty
So,
I think that's
so
right.
buckle up for that, folks.
I thought it was.
Yeah,
I think
trains.
I thought it was extreme sports, maybe, but that might be 3
That's in the first 10 seasons.
for sure.
Well, 10 years in or 9 years in, we're still on season 1. So
That's the lore. That's what's so great about all this.
that is. All right. So anyway, let's see.
Should we get into it?
Avatar 2, The Way of Water, released in December 16th, 2022.
Yep.
Stars Sam Worthington as Jake Sully, Zoe Saldaña. Am I saying that right?
I think that's right,
Saldaña.
yeah. No, I think it's-
Saldana, I think, right?
No, I think she's got the tilde.
She's got the
she
tilde,
does have,
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. As Neytiri, Sigourney Weaver as Kiri, Stephen Lang as Quarch, Kate Winslet as Renal,
Who
Cliff
is
Curtis
that?
as
I had no idea Kate
Tonawar.
Winslet was in this.
Yeah, she's the
Yeah,
wife.
she is the water
water queen,
Navi.
Oh, okay.
Yep, she is the main wife. And dude, there is some amazing stuff about her in the behind the scenes with this, and written and directed by James Cameron.
Did she recreate the scene from Titanic with the Navi?
Dude, that would be some really funny shit if they pulled that off.
Paint me
Somehow
like one of
worked
your
that
blue
in.
women.
Yeah, they could do
I
that.
had no idea
right?
she was. I didn't know Sigourney Weaver. I'm like, this is kind of weird. She's like playing like this little teeny bopper avatar running around.
Well, what's kind of interesting.
Meanwhile,
I thought
she's
it was weird
75
too.
years old. I'm seeing the mocap footage here on the IMDb page. It's pretty wild.
And the way that James Cameron talks about it is pretty interesting because he says, with this motion capture, the possibilities are limitless, right? Because you can have somebody, Sigourney Weaver, playing a teenager, and if you were to pop that into a movie normally, I mean, shoot, what was it?
Clifford,
The
starring Martin Short.
Irishman. Yeah, The Irishman, right? They have Robert De Niro.
Right.
And, they use that de-aging on him or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they got him and Joe Pesci talking, and Joe Pesci's always like, oh, calling him the kid, and like Robert De Niro's young children. I'm like, this is weird. I'm like, Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro are the same age. And I was like, this casting just is odd to me. Like, give somebody else a shot. Not that I don't think it could have worked Robert De Niro in there. Like, I like the movie, but it's just weird. But with motion capture, and I'm not saying they need to do that for a Jimmy Hoffa movie.
They should have.
But yeah, if you make The Irishman but an Avatar, that'd be pretty legit. So, anyways, that's besides the point.
CCH Pounders in this.
Yeah, no, that was actually one of the things that I saw when I was looking up possible J Archive or Jeopardy questions. One of them was just initials, and they gave the first names. It was like whatever CCH, and I think you were supposed to say like who is Pounder. And I was like, wow, that's kind of an interesting question. But it said
Big
Avatar.
Pounder fan over here.
I love Pounder. CCH Pounder. All right,
Kyle's on his tablet.
Anything
Everyone
else
buckle
to
up.
anything else to say about it before we dive in a little bit to the
Dive
episode?
in a little bit to this 3-hour episode.
So did you guys watch this? Did you guys just rewatch this for the pod? Kyle, I know you did, right?
So I first watched it, as we talked about, in IMAX 3D, and then I watched it again in 3D but virtual reality, basically on my own IMAX screen,
Right.
on big screen.
First
Had a bunch
time
of
watch
people in there
for
with
me today.
Oh, okay. So you didn't see it in theaters.
And what did you watch it on?
75-inch Samsung television.
He watched an iPod Nano.
That's the way James Cameron wants you to see it.
On a Nano?
It felt like the movie experience. Like the moment it came on, I was watching with my wife, and she made a comment about the television size, because like you do I mean, the visuals in this movie are remarkable.
Yeah.
And you're reminded what you're looking at when you start to watch this. Like, this is every bit of a big budget, like motion picture moment. Like, this is something you would go to the theaters for.
So you guys are going to have to help me out a little bit. I am going off my memory of that experience in the theater, which burned itself into my brain to the point where I probably will get at least the basic plot, I would assume. But
you don't even have Cliff Notes in front of you or anything?
I pulled the Wikipedia page, but there was even stuff in here where I was like, wait, I don't understand. I could have sworn, and I think I'm kind of right. But anyways, okay. This movie takes place 16 years after the events of the previous. And we get a little bit of summary to kind of go through the process of being like, here's what happened in the meantime. And there's a bunch of kids now, and they're basically loving life. And there's all kinds of animals, and it's beautiful because it's Pandora, and it's a moon, and it's got all kinds of beautiful things on it. But then, looks like the sky people are coming back, and they come back with their big old machines. And as I recall, they burn the shit out of everything. And all these animals are dying. So good. And I'm crying in the theaters, right? Like, tears are streaming down my face. I'm like, I want to live on Pandora, but now I can't because it's ashes. If only they would make a third movie called Fire and Ash that really got to the core of what I'm feeling right now. But that was for later. Because then they kind of run away, and they're like kind of hiding out a little bit. And they are doing little missions to knock and destroy the sky people. They're like, get out of here. We don't like you. And they're shooting down stuff. And Sully and his, what's the wife's name?
Neytiri.
Neytiri. So Neytiri and Sully, they kind of like organize, because Sully's like a military guy. So he can kind of help out and be like, yo, I'm a military man. Let's do a little military organization. They're shooting down stuff, getting weapons, kind of organizing, whatever. His kids are real rambunctious. Wanted to get into the fray. Sullys don't quit. Sully, there's other rules, I think, associated with Sullys, but mostly they don't quit. So, like, they're into that idea. But then ultimately they bring back all the baddies from last time, like Stephen Lang, who's a true baddie, if you know what I mean, in both senses of the words. He's a bad guy, and he's a baddie. Whoa. Stephen Lang.
What?
Yes.
Always a bad guy.
Yeah.
Or as everybody calls him in the behind the scenes, slang.
Really?
And that first threw me, and I was like, what? I was like, that's pretty sick.
That's dope.
I mean, that's like you, Brom, right? You do that.
Yeah,
this is slang, dude.
B-Rom, S-Lang.
Yeah, and he, I always know Stephen Lang as he played Stonewall Jackson in Gods and Generals.
In Gods and Generals,
one of the worst movies
I was going to bring that up to
in
you,
the history
dude.
of the world. That's 1,000 hours long. I remember watching it, and I died. And I lived through several lives, like in Buddhist whatever. Yeah. Just in the time that I watched him act like a crazy person on screen. Like, I've never been able to actually look at Stephen Lang the same after watching Gods and Generals. And I know everyone respects him, and he's a really cool actor, but the only thing I can see is Stephen Lang playing Stonewall Jackson every time he's on screen. And it's just spoiled. He spoiled himself for me. So that's just how it is. Anyway, Stonewall Jackson and a bunch of other baddies, they become avatars now. They're Na'vi kind of type people. They're huge, and they're ready to like rock and roll. They're ready to get in there and get dirty. So they go on like a reconnaissance mission, and they kind of like, they end up encountering the kids, right? Along with Spider, it's explained that Spider is like a human who lives amongst all the Na'vi, because he couldn't like transport back to Earth or whatever. Like, he just had to like stick around.
Big Tarzan vibes.
Yeah.
And one of the big problems with the sky people, the normal humans, going into where they think the Na'vi are, is that there's such an environmental response based on AWA that, they just come and, they say they can only be in the airspace for about 10 minutes until they're taken down. But they want to make sure that these new avatars, don't trigger that response. And so you see that very early on when a creature like encounters them and just kind of runs away. They're like, oh, sick,
Dope.
Good to go. Like, let's start doing this,
Yeah.
So they go back to where they last remember being, because all the memories from Quaritch and everybody else, all the Marines, are implanted in the avatars' heads. And so they go back to where they died, the final fight in Avatar 1.
And that's like the
And
little
that's where the
scientific
kids-
area. And that's where the kids are. And they get captured. And then they're freed by Sully and stuff like that. But Spider is left behind, right? He's kind of like
Spider.
kept with.
Yeah, they get Spider.
Yeah, they get. So then, because Spider's been captured, they're like, shit. The gig's up, and they're definitely getting targeted. So Jake Sully and his family are like, okay, we're gonna jet. We're gonna like head out, and we're gonna go to the water people. And they kind of explain there's a bunch of like islands and stuff. There's all kinds of, who knows? Maybe there's a fireplace. Maybe there's a love place. Maybe there's all the Captain Planet elements have a place on Pandora. Who knows? Maybe Captain Planet is one of the movies that is part of Avatar. Maybe Avatar 5 is Captain Planet, or Avatar 6 is Captain Planet.
Can you imagine that, dude? Captain Planet is the god of Pandora.
And it's the sixth movie. And he's basically just like, you keep giving me money or else you're not going to get the Captain Planet movie. And everyone's like, shit. I'm like, God damn it. And they have to keep on paying because they want to see the Captain Planet movie.
Actually, I got to look up something here real quick.
What, if there's ever...
We keep going.
Okay, anyways.
No, based on when James Cameron came up with the inception of this idea, when Captain Planet was invented.
So anyways, they head off to the island. And the island people are... I can't tell you. They're like super accepting of them. But they're not totally entirely rejecting them. But they're basically like, they don't want them around. They're different.
Yeah.
Bringing the trouble.
Weird, very weird diplomacy kind of conversation here. I thought there'd be more of a better pitch for why they should be welcomed in, but
But anyways, they start living in the water.
They assimilate.
They're not used to it, but they start to like pal around with some of the water creatures. There's like these whales that are like super cool and like, kind of the coon, and they're like super awesome, and they turn out to be even better than unobtainium. You remember that first movie where there's unobtainium? What happens if there was something that was even better, and it happened to be in a whale's brain? How about that? And why don't you have to kill the whale to get it? How about that then? So like,
and it stops you from aging, and it's $80 million for a vial like less than the size of my hand.
Right.
Unreal.
Right. And so they start to like, I think, what is it? Because they have their flying creatures, but you can also kind of do the same thing with some like swimming creatures. And then you're not supposed to do it with the whales, I don't think, but one of the kids ends up kind of tying into one of the whales or something.
Bonding with the outcast.
Yeah, because that whale is outcast. The other whales, yes, everybody goes in. They're very friendly. They are, communicate with them. They bond with them. They go on their annual migration and come back. Everybody gets all excited, except this one that the kind of outcast middle child of Jake Sully's bonds with the outcast Coon. And so there's reasons for that, because they say that whale is responsible for killing people. And that is very against the nature of the Coon. Like, they are complete nonviolent. So anything where any violence
like the Amish
occurs,
right?
Yes, whatever you're talking about. You want to talk about Kingpin? Apparently, there's another one coming out.
Sweet. Is it tied into this universe? Is this this is like when we're talking about seasons of submersion? It's like, maybe it's like a spin-off. See episode 9. It's like Kingpin 2.
I mean, theoretically, Kingpin could be happening on Earth as Avatars.
I don't think that's
Pandora,
true. I think the timing doesn't make any sense.
The time is different.
I think so.
Darn it. Yeah, it's really disappointing.
Earth sounds pretty desperate to colonize a new planet.
Yeah, I don't think that.
Which I don't recall in the original.
I will say, Kingpin. They don't have to be walking around saying, "Isn't it crazy that we're colonizing other planets?" Anyways, back to the bowling.
If we ever make a movie, we got to throw something in there like that, just so there's the possibility of a tie-in someday to something.
So anyways, I've kind of lost the plot a little bit, because like most of this is like them like assimilating and getting like super into being like water people, right?
We're talking like 20 to 30-ish minute montages of water bonding, and a lot of this is a lot of underwater scene, a lot of incredible visuals, and underwater motion capture with all these actors and actresses, mainly the children,
right? Because
including Sigourney Weaver,
right? Because
she is one of the children,
and she's very important, right? Because she's kind of like she was like born of almost like immaculate conception, right? And now she can bond with the main like underwater tree. thing.
Yeah, and this is actually important because when she does that, she bonds with the underwater tree of life. She has a seizure, and I had my wife look at this because she looks at seizures all the time. And I said, "What do you think of this seizure?" She said, "Eyes are open. That's a good start." Good. She said, "But the hands on her were down, which doesn't necessarily happen." But she said it's okay. So I was like, "All right, passes the sniff test." So
she gave it. What was the grade? B or B minus?
She didn't give it a grade. I'll have to
can we
do
get
that
her
again.
on?
Big
Can we
mistake.
get her on right now?
Big mistake.
Yeah, just a guest episode. Yeah. I don't know.
Please grade the seizure.
I've had her do that with multiple movies. Watch, like, hey, what do you think of this one?
It's like me with I can't remember what, Hard to Kill, the Steven Seagal film, where it opens and he gets knocked into a coma, and there on the screen it says L.A. Coma Center is like where he's being held, and I stopped it and rewind it, and then I called my wife over and I was like, and I played it, and she was like, L.A. Coma Center, come on. That's all I wanted to know. Because that's crazy. It's not a real...
Just a coma
It's not a place where a bunch of people are sitting in comas. That's not like a thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, not that we know of. But then... Oh, so she has the seizure. So now Jake Sully and the family have to call back to the other avatars because there are scientists that are good that stayed on Pandora, and she needs medical attention. Now that draws attention to the fact that because they can, Quaritch and the other Marines can see that a helicopter took off and went out to the island.
Yeah, because they've been searching
where to start looking for.
Yeah,
them.
and they start searching. They like kind of team up with the whale hunters on because like there's all these humans that are like doing the mining or trying to find valuable things on Pandora. And they kind of team up with the whale hunters to start searching islands. And they kind of like, they start to really like wreck a bunch of like tribes and stuff like that, right? Like they're kind of like burning through all these different tribes, trying to find and root out. Cause there's like so many islands, so many tribes. They don't really know, they don't know where they are, but they now know that they're out there somewhere.
Well, and this whole time that this is going on, you also get some flashes over to Spider interacting with the Marines because it is brought to light that Quaritch is Spider's dad.
Such a weird.
So
I remember that being a very strange aspect of the movie because I couldn't recall how that would kind of like. I guess it would have been one of those things like being like Kingpin being linked to the Avatar world, where it'd just be like, oh, I guess he had a wife, but we never saw or whatever. Yeah. And there was like I guess he had a kid. He never mentioned him, but he had a kid.
Right. Well, I mean, he's got a one-track mind, which is like kill Jake Sully, right? So he's not going to be like, "Hey, how was your day?" He's like, "I don't want to talk about that."
He's not looking at like a picture of his wife and kid at any moment. But he's like, "No."
In his mech suit, while he's doing the fight.
He's looking at this picture of Jake Sully with like X's over the eyes. That's all he's got.
And so you can tell that Spider is like conflicted because this avatar has all the memories and personalities of his father. Kind of looks like him, but is not. But there seems to be some kind of bonding, although once they start, going into villages, burning them down, Spider's like, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, not super into it. Yeah. Okay, that begs the question. This. If you guys were, let's say, captured by your dad that you never knew, who was a military, now a large blue alien military person, and he was burning down villages, would you feel okay about that?
I think it's impossible to know, isn't it? Because I haven't lived that life.
It's true. Impossible to know.
It's impossible to know because it will never happen.
Why did we all have to grow up knowing our fathers? We don't have this. We don't have this insight.
All right.
If any of you out there have grown up without your father and he is now a big blue alien burning down villages, please message us. Let us know what you think.
What's the email?
MackeyStudios@gmail.com.
Can I ask, when was the last time you checked that, or does it go to your email?
It's been a minute, so.
Anyways, we're getting near the climax, I think, because then they start to track them down, and I think they get wind of the fact that the military people are hunting, whales, killing whales, burning down villages, all this kind of stuff, and the kids decide to go to like warn the Turuks,
the whale.
What's it? Tolkien.
The Tukun.
Tukun. Yeah.
So they warn the outcast because the one has got really close bond with him because they are able to they put trackers on the whales, and that's how they single them out and hunt them. Basically, they say if you get a tracker, you're marked for death. So they go out, find the one. Guess what? He's got a tracker, so they got to try to help him get the tracker off. And that's when the whale hunting ship and all the Marines take the kids captive. And so then that's just like, boom, we're in the fight.
It's like and it really is. I don't know what the exact length of time for the fight is, but this is the same thing with the first Avatar, where like the real calling card of this film is to get you into something like this, and then for it to be just dope. It's just like fucking dope for like an hour. You just have this giant fight, all these vessels, submarines. We haven't even talked about the submarines, but this is kind of where the submarines come in. And, the people are in these little crab submarines, different types of submarines, going around under the water. People are crushing them, killing them. It's just it's the same thing when they did the air fight in the first one. It's just a super fun extended fight, but you're sitting there on the edge of your seat being like, okay, it's super long and it's Avatar and it's got all this lore to it. But even if you didn't care about all those things, or you thought but like that last fight, you'd sit there and be like, got my money's worth, feeling pretty good about this, liking it.
Yeah. Yeah. Incredible visuals and all that. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of subs in the water at this point. We're talking like, 1 or 2 man subs. You get a couple where water rushes in, the guy's got to evacuate, all that type of stuff. But then they get swallowed up by giant sea creatures. You're like, hell yeah, dude, that's pretty sick.
I saw that in the preview for the next one too. That there's in the trailer for Avatar Fire and Ash, there is someone getting as like a creature or whoever like pokes holes in his submarine and he gets flooded.
Perfect.
So guarantee that we will continue this podcast. Maybe that one might be what episode at 2028. We might get back to Avatar.
Yeah, at this rate,
because we got a couple
Mission Impossible 1 next year, Dead Reckoning 1 next year, Dead Reckoning 2 in 2027,
and then 2028.
Avatar Fire 3 2028.
Perfect. I think our schedule's airtight.
Yeah, we got it locked down.
If you guys want to watch ahead, so you're ready to listen in. That's the schedule.
A couple years. Then so they capture the kids and they pull them onto they're like on a big ship, right? And then Jake Sully, comes along with is it Neytiri? Is that the name? Neytiri?
Neytiri.
Yeah, Neytiri. They come to rescue the kids, and there's a big battle on the ship. And ultimately, I mean, the really devastating things. There's 2 devastating things that kind of happen. One of the kids is killed in the process of having to try to save. He like kind of goes back to save one of the other kids or something, right? And ends up dying.
They're going to free Spider.
Yeah.
So the oldest, who we've seen kind of get into trouble a few times because the oldest really wants to be like his dad. And then there's the middle child who's a little more rambunctious, a little more like fly by the seat of his pants type thing. More likely to get into danger, but the oldest is like, I'm going to help him. I'm going to bail him out. So he's like, the middle says, we got to go get Spider. And so they get him. But in the course of escaping the ship, the oldest gets shot. And so then he dies, bleeds out and dies. And, I mean, that's just going to like, Jake Sully's not going to run now, right? I mean, there's a time where like they are face to face, him and Quaritch. And I mean, it's kind of funny because he's like, just know if you go, I will never stop hunting you and your family. And he just looks at him and he's like, all right, let's do this then. Yeah. They just instantly start fighting. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah. It's basically
all right,
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, the other devastating thing that happened is Quaritch basically he's dead to rights, as I recall. And then Spider saves him because I guess he's his dad or whatever. But like, come on, Spider. Come on.
It's a clone of your dad.
Come on. How about you maybe don't save the guy who is the main antagonist of our movie series? How about that? How about that portion of it?
I know. Well, the thing is, he saves him, and then he just like goes back with the Na'vi, like, hey man, how's it going? He's like, hey, I'm not going to tell you guys what I just did because I just dragged the dude who's killing your family out of the water.
I think Spider ends up becoming a big thorn, not a thorn in their sides, but I think it seems like his angle in the next movie is like a big part of it. Is like kind of the idea that he he proves, that humans can like live on Pandora without like too much trouble. And that's not good in the end. So Spider, generally, you know what I'm going to say? No good. Wish he could have went back on the transport. Maybe technology should have caught up and let kids go into transports. Maybe that's
on cryos.
Yeah, maybe the scientists are to blame here. I hate to say it, but they couldn't make a transport that could transport a kid back to Earth. Maybe that's on them.
Dude, you're right. Maybe you're right.
Anyways,
that's what James Cameron's really getting at, is that science equals bad.
Right. Anyways, there's a big funeral. Everyone's sad. And then they're like, okay, we're going to leave. And everyone's like, oh, cool. They're going to go to a new place and we're going to learn more about the other, fire people or whatever. And then the water people are like, no, you're one of us now. And everyone's like, cool. And then 3 years later, we're going to be learning what happens next because they're going to be fighting. They're ready to fight.
Dude, they are. Time for fire and ash.
I think that was 35 seconds? How long did that recap take?
Yeah. That's
closer,
about it.
Closer to 48.
Okay. Cool.
Wait, so when's the last time you watched this?
Me? In theaters.
Oh my gosh! Wow, you got a mind like a steel trap.
I do have a mind like a steel trap. This is the thing. Oh, the only problem is sometimes I think about movies like Act of Valor, which I was talking about, and the only thing I can remember is the submarine scene. Sometimes I'll be like, "What happened?" And I'm like, "I think they were in Colombia at one point." I'm not sure. I don't actually.
But you
know.
think about it all the time.
Avatar? No, I don't know. It's just the way the plot works. I think.
Dude, it's the way.
It's the way of water.
It's the way of water. It's just it's
what it is.
It's like a simple thread from A to B. It really isn't
Fine.
because there's huge chunks of it that are, as you say, montages or fights or whatever.
I mean, there are. If you look at this movie, I mean, you can even like check timestamps. It's about 3 hour-long sections. Yeah. Like we get the first hour. That is the Sky People coming, them doing the raids, blowing up maglevs, to them escaping, and then all of a sudden, all right, now we're in the water area, and we're assimilating with them, we're bonding, all this stuff, and then, okay, now, final fight. Like, that's kind of how it's broken up.
Yeah, and I remember coming out of the theater with Patrick and being like, I really like that. And kind of being like that middle portion is almost like being at a theme park, because it really is just showing off the water and being in the water and diving and swimming around in the water, and you're like, nothing happens. It's like it's like
my
a 3 hour
wife loved
movie.
that. She wanted the whole movie to be that,
and that's kind of what I said. I was like, it's things like that you can't fault James Cameron necessarily, because a lot of movies I'll look at, like Five Nights at Freddy's, right? Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Me and Patrick just went to see it.
Great comparison,
right?
Yeah.
So it's an hour and 44.
Also part of the Avatar extended universe.
Robots for sure, but like it's an hour and 44 minutes long, and I was like, oh motherfucker, come on! Like this movie should be 90 minutes tops, 88 if you're doing it right. And it's a terrible movie. It has some good scare, I will say. Best scares of the year for me. Best scares of the year. 2 scariest scenes in horror films this year. Five Nights at Freddy's 2. But that's one where an hour and 44 minutes starts to feel interminable. Whereas James Cameron can just make this experience for you, where you're sitting there watching people swim around for like 2 hours, and you're like, cool. Keep it going. Let's keep it rolling here, man. Let's go. So
that is, I'm glad that we share the same sentiment, because I remember when I first went into that movie, I was like, wow, this is 3 hours long. And I left the theater and I thought, did not feel that long. And I mean, the other night I sat down, I'm going to be in virtual reality for over 3 hours, just in my office. And I sat down again and watched it, and I was like, didn't feel that long. Like, didn't once like check my watch, anything like that. I was like, no, this.
And that's when Kelsey told you had 6 seizures and you had just woken up. It's 4 days later.
Yeah. And she's like, but your eyes are open and your arms came up. So like better than Sigourney Weaver's. It was like perfect.
Great. All right. So is this final judgments, or what do we call them? This is from a different podcast.
Reviews? I don't know.
Final judgments.
Yeah.
I'm going to go second. So who goes first?
I don't care. I can go first. I don't care. I've been consuming, I can't remember if I said this on or off the pod. I've been consuming so much Avatar content lately, and I watched this movie. I went through and I watched all the behind the scenes. Technically, this movie is just absolutely incredible. The lengths that James Cameron goes to make this happen. And I'll tell you what, the first time I watched it, I thought, all right, this is pretty good. The second time I watched it, I was like, this is fucking amazing. Just blew my mind. If you saw what they built, hold on, where the heck is my phone? They have got this giant tank for doing all the water scenes. We're talking 90 feet long, 40 feet wide, 685 million gallon tank where they can make these insanely huge wave pools. They've got ship turbines that can pump 1 million gallons of water a minute to like just make these insane waves for all the underwater stuff. So you're getting actual motion capture. The breath holding. Yeah. I don't know if you guys talk about Mission Impossible a lot. Kate Winslet blew the doors off of Tom Cruise's record. She held it for like 7 minutes, 14 seconds or something crazy. Yeah. Holy shit.
She's basically like, screw this. I'm just going to become the best ever. And she just held her breath for like 7 minutes.
I know. And the lengths that people are willing to go to work with James Cameron. And it's so funny because I watch a lot of interviews and they're like, oh, should we call you James? Everybody calls you Jim. He's like, James is just for the credits. He's like, call me Jim. So I was like, okay.
And he's like, and for my really good friends, call me Jimbo.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he said. But also, something that I thought was incredible was they did motion capture on these people for 18 months, right? And that's just the Avatar people. Spider is human. So
what?
He wasn't.
He's not a spider. Yeah. So what the hell?
What if that's actually what happens? We find out he is part spider. He didn't really film with them at all. So they invented essentially, and they, the Avatar like 9 feet tall, but they said they needed to get the like line of sight correct for all of his shots. So they essentially invented a special like sky cam that you'd see at an NFL game where the computer or the camera goes, to film. They had that with iPads on it. So that way they had the actors like talking. So he was talking to just these iPads flying around. And it was kind of funny because everybody else is like, it's just like filming with a family. Like we're all so close. But then they go to Spider's interviews like, I was pretty lonely, pretty isolated.
He's like, honestly, it was even weirder with the iPads. I wish they were just tennis balls they flying around.
Well, that's what it usually is, right? That's the show. It usually is on a stick. But so watching all that, knowing all that, seeing this a second time, usually I'm not huge into CGI type stuff, but this is one of those movies where I do believe you need to see it on the biggest screen possible. And so I get to see it in IMAX, or if you got VR, you can watch it in that on an faux IMAX. It's awesome. I don't know that you're going to get the same experience if you watch it on, like if I was on a plane and I watched this on an iPad, I would just be like, whatever, I don't get it. But you put this on something huge, it's incredible. I'll give it like, okay, I got to say, the visuals when that whale hunting ship, like when that rounds the corner, when it's coming towards the kids, I remember sitting in theaters thinking, holy shit, like that looks so good. So all I considered, I really enjoy this movie. I like it even better than the first one. I'm going to give it a 9.
I'm going to come in second. Except for out of the top, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Really like the movie. Obviously, it's not like not perfect. It could be perfect if they instead of going to like a water family, maybe they went to a submarine tribe that was all about submarines and they lived in a submarine maybe or something. Then it'd be a 10. Then I'd be like, whoa, hold on. You're saying a whole tribe's, how big is the submarine? It would be the first question because they're huge, right? The Na'vi are huge. We need those submarines that are like kind of in those movies where you can get like knocked off of like off of a ladder or whatever, and then you fall to your death on the submarine.
Like Agent Red type submarine?
That's the type of submarine you need for a Na'vi. They have to be so tall that you could fall, like a regular human could fall and die. But to be serious, the visuals, amazing. Story, everyone kind of makes fun of the story or the impact on culture or whatever that has to go on with it. And it's just like, come on, you think about a lot of these movies that come out, and there's always not everything is going to be one other. And then you look at something like Star Wars. It's not like Star Wars was breaking new ground on the story. The story was a riff on a whole bunch of different stuff that had come before it from Japanese culture and all kinds of different stuff. And, just regular hero's journey kind of stuff. It was the visuals and the advancement in technology that really set it apart, and the immersion in the world and being able to kind of like engage in what was going on in there. And that's exactly what Avatar kind of does, is kind of push those types of things forward. So I don't know. It really is that middle portion that I sit there being like, this is what kind of sets it out from being different. It's like they can kind of sit there and do something that I think would have get a lot of critique if you were sitting in a Transformers movie or whatever, and it sat around as the Transformers palled around for like an hour and a half in a 3-hour movie. You'd be like, what the fuck? Get out of here. I hate this. But in Avatar,
just ripping down the highway.
But in Avatar, you sit there and be like, it's actually like, it does serve this purpose, this kind of interesting purpose of like, not just advancing the story, not just building the world, but like almost having this like weird calming effect on your brain. You sit there being like, yeah, I just enjoy being here for a second. We'll just enjoy this for a while, whatever. And you do it. And so, yeah, I do really, really enjoy it. I'm not going to go out there and say it's like my favorite submarine film or my favorite film of all time or anything like that, but extremely good, very, very solid. Even the submarine stuff is good. So 8.5.
Yeah, I think you guys nailed it. Jamie, especially talking about, this being a visual feast, but, fairly formulaic storytelling, but it doesn't need to, do anything profound there. Like, this just needs to be accessible to all audiences. And, it's a marvel of modern filmmaking. It's one of those just shoot it out into space on one of our, time capsules we put out there for aliens to discover. Like, it is really like James Cameron passionate about filmmaking and this world and universe he's created, and gives you a lot of just really, impressive things to look at. But, it doesn't give you a lot to think about. So that's where, it falls short.
Maybe
if you're looking
in the environment. I don't know about that. I'm joking.
You're right. Right. And I think if he like that's where he would take a huge risk, and like I don't know if that would pay off for him if he did try to be super preachy about it. That's kind of what I appreciated about it, is it didn't get political or anything like that. There was no distractions that took me out of the film. It's a very long movie, and the fact that I made it through it. I fall asleep on a lot of these movies we watch for the podcast. That's, we haven't done an episode in a long time, but I thought about it during the middle of this. It's like, I usually have fallen asleep by this part. And, this was one where, I was glued to the screen, and it was starting to get to the point where I'm like, okay, this can wrap up, but didn't quite get there. It was good. It was a really good, again, marvel of filmmaking, just not my particular fandom. This kind of is, his own creation here. I'm a big, Lord of the Rings fan. There's Star Wars fans out there. There's Star Trek fans out there. This isn't my particular fandom. I haven't really latched on to it. Like I said, today's my first watch, 3 years after the movie's been released. But I'm not going to knock it for not being my particular cup of tea. It was good. I'm going to give it an 8.
Pretty good. Pretty high.
All right.
Yeah. I've got a couple things, and then I can just transition back away slowly from the podcast. Basically, probably log off. I won't even listen to you guys' stuff. Although I've heard, Brom, I heard your countdown's great, so I have to stick around for that. Kyle, probably tune out for your portion of it, but
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So anyways.
Mine's a little interactive, but not much. So you'll have to see.
So I'm going to quickly do a Phantom Zone.
Engage the Phantom.
Phantom's engaged, sir.
And so this is easy because Winslet, obviously Titanic. Right now we got the James Cameron connections here. But I'm going to veer a little bit left. Oh, Paxton, who's in Titanic, he's in Navy SEALs. You guys ever seen Navy SEAls?
with
I have not.
with Charlie Sheen and stuff like
Nope.
that? Oh, it's got a great golf scene. If you just want to you want to see a super fun thing, or just like do like Navy SEALs golf scene, and then you'll see a super. I think Ross Romanovich or something is in that as well. Who's from Top Gun. It's pretty great. So, anyways, but Michael Biehn is in Navy SEALs, another stalwart of some James Cameron from the original Terminator, etc. But he was in The Abyss. Guess who's in The Abyss? One Ed Harris of Phantom. But we should have been much quicker because apparently, from what I read, Ed Harris was supposed to be in the original Avatar, and it's kind of curious because you know Billy Warlock. Have you ever heard of a guy named Billy Warlock from Steel Sharks? His dad was in The Abyss as well with Ed Harris, and so Ed Harris was going to team up with Billy Warlock in Avatar. So Billy Warlock was going to be Sam Worthington's character, right? He's going to be Jake Sully. And then Ed Harris was going to be, the Stephen Lang part, right? That's what they were all set up to do. But then it all fell apart because at a certain point, Ed Harris said, like, no CGI. He said a hard line, like none. It's got to be all practical. And like, oh, what, we're going to just like paint you up blue and like force perspective? He's like, no, and also no blue aliens. He said they all had to be, what he said, grease monkeys. So and then they said, James Cameron's like, they're all going to be like mechanics? I don't understand. He's like, no.
And he does it in the nude.
He said, no, legitimately, they're monkeys covered in grease. And that's when, no deal. That was the end of that. So.
Dude, do you remember Billy Warlock's dad's name? I do.
Dick Warlock?
This is Dick Warlock.
And then I do have a J archive. So what I like to do when doing a J archive is look for when the first time something like this, something that I'm interested in, tying into this movie was. So the first time The Way of Water, specifically this movie that we're talking about here, was a question, because it's a big enough movie to be a question on Jeopardy. Like Steel Sharks, spoiler alert, Steel Sharks never a question on Jeopardy, but Way of Water actually could be. So April 7th, 2023, they had their first ever question where it was Way of Water being part of the question and the specifically to around the question. Yeah. So it was not that long after Jeopardy's asking this question.
I was gonna say, like, what, 5 months after?
So it's under the category pop culture. So who wants to go first? Who gave the Bram, you go first because you gave the lower score. So do you want the 400, 800, 1200, 1600, or 2000 question for pop culture?
Small. Go 400.
400. He gave us the Produce Pete segment of The Daily Show before becoming the 40-year-old virgin.
Who is Steve Carell?
Correct, $400. Okay, so Kyle.
I'll just walk it up. Let's do the next one.
Edie Falco thought a 2022 sequel to this 2009 film had flopped, having shot it 4 years prior and not realizing it had never been released.
Avatar 2, The Way of Water.
Yes.
Got to frame it in the form of a question, Kyle.
What is Avatar 2, The Way of Water?
Bram needs to come back. 1200, 1600, or 2000?
1200.
The TV series about the character that began NPH Mania has been shown in Latin America as El Doctorcito.
No idea.
You don't know the TV series with Neil Patrick Harris? El Doctorcito. Kyle, can you steal this?
Who is Doogie Howser?
There we go. Perfect. 1200. Come on. You got to think through
You said
these
NPH.
NPH.
Yeah, NPH. New Patrick Harris. Dude, haven't you ever seen Harold and Kumar where he brands that hooker with NPH?
It's great. It's great. All right, Kyle. 1600 or 2000. You want to put them away?
Dude, just put me at... Yeah, fuck it. Let's try
2000?
2000.
In this 2019 X-Men movie, Sophie Turner dealt with absolute power corrupting absolutely.
I got it.
Oh my God, I know you have it.
Steal it.
What is Dark Phoenix?
He got it. Oh shit! Yeah. We all knew that. That's terrible that we all know that. We should not
terrible
have a
movie.
I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I have not seen it, but I remember the poster.
Okay, so this is an important one. So
the last one.
Yeah. So kids of the 70s, this is for you. This character, a man barely alive. We can rebuild him better, stronger, faster.
What is the $1 Million Man?
Incorrect. Kyle, can you steal this? Better, stronger, faster.
Not bigger. Come on, get out of here. He's a regular sized human being.
Sorry.
What are you talking about? Navi here? Forced perspective? Get out of here. He's just a regular person.
I want to say RoboCop, but you said children of the 70s, so it's not RoboCop.
No, I will say this. Brahm was extremely close. I think if I gave him a second chance.
Is it the Marathon Man or
Brahm,
something?
you just have the wrong denominator. It's not the $1 million man. Think bigger.
What is the $1 billion man?
No, think smaller.
What is the $1,000 man?
Think bigger.
It was the $100 million
It's a $6 million man. $6 million man.
$6 million man.
Yeah, $6 million.
gotcha.
What the hell? Who's going to get that?
The people who know it. 70s people. People
I'm
from
not
the
a 70s
70s.
child.
Anyways, that's my parts. I'll tune out. Kyle, do whatever you want.
I'd love to watch a show called The $1,000 Man.
Oh my God. I'd watch that.
Yeah, it's like a scarecrow.
They give me the $10 man.
Scarecrow? That's an expensive scarecrow.
with like a servo motor on it. Just,
perfect.
Just something to make it
$1,000
$1,000.
scarecrow. God, dude, you're like
Rumpelstiltskin spinning straw into gold. Ayo.
I was thinking of Arrested Development when she's like,
kind of banana
I don't
cost?
know, Michael. What's a banana cost? $6.
That's $10.
Scarecrow. Scarecrow.
What is a banana
$1,000?
cost, Michael? $10?
Oh my gosh. All right. So I've just got a few things here. It's called This or That.
Oh.
Give me this. Give me that. It's time for this. It's time for that. This, that, this, that, this, that, this, that. It's this or that.
Avatar edition. So I'm going to give you movie series, and you're going to tell me Avatar or the other movie series. Okay. These are franchises with multiple.
So what are we
movies.
choosing? What do we prefer?
You're going to choose between Avatar or the other.
So preference? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
preference.
This is great because I don't know. I have a character on badmovietwins.com that's been called Franchise Man, where I'm super into franchises and lore, and so I'm like well tuned for this.
Here we go. You'll probably be better at this than I then. All right, the Jurassic World franchise.
Avatar, 1,000 times out of 1,000.
Brom?
Avatar.
Avatar. Oh, here we go.
Okay. Jurassic World. So Jurassic World, it becomes once there's an entry in the series where they're in the kind of a haunted house and all the dinosaurs in the house for like an auction or whatever, and then they like a little girl like is there and she's like, we should release the dinosaurs, and then pushes a button and they're like, yeah, that's good. And Chris Pratt says, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. And it's like, no, don't release the dinosaurs. And at that point, I was like, I'm out. I can't handle the series where the Earth is overrun by dinosaurs because a little girl decided to. And then I can't handle a series where after that, it isn't like, oh, the U.S. military came out and just destroyed all these dinosaurs. Instead, it's like, and the dinosaurs were really hard to beat. I'm like, but why? They're dinosaurs. We have military grade weapons. We could just kill them.
Dude.
They'd be hunting.
That's what
we
you
just
think.
hunt all the dinosaurs.
Yeah, be open season.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Pirates of the Caribbean or Avatar?
Avatar still, but it's a tougher question because I do like how crazy and weird the Pirates of the Caribbean series is. And also I'm a huge fan of Johnny Depp. So
Yeah, I like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Ooh, here we go.
and I should be clear, I like Johnny Depp's politics, not his, acting.
Whatever you're into, man. Do you like his cologne commercials?
I do actually, but no, I don't like much else about him. But the cologne commercial, I like all
Was that Dior?
all cologne commercials. Do you know the
Saval?
you know the the new Channing Tatum one plays all the time now, and I'm like, this is pretty good. He's like jumping off a cliff and catching an arrow or whatever. Yeah.
What?
I
I have
haven't
not
seen
seen
that.
that.
Check it
I
out.
wear Austin. I wear Austin Butler personally.
All right. Everybody has to have a signature scent. What movie is that from?
I don't remember.
Came out this year.
I don't know.
Friendship.
Minecraft.
Oh, I haven't seen it. Sorry.
You
I
haven't
haven't seen
Oh
Minecraft.
my gosh. It's wild. You want to talk about wild movies? Whew. All right. Okay. The Fast or Furious franchise or Avatar?
I'm still going Avatar. It's difficult though because I am a big fan of kind of like the earlier stuff, like especially Tokyo Drift, the original.
Dude, Tokyo Drift is the shit.
Second one's very funny in a lot of ways. Good. I think the fourth one, I don't like the fourth one very much, but Fast 5 is obviously very, very good and kind of the turn in the series or whatever. The later ones kind of fall apart a little bit. And so I guess as I talk about it, it's probably Fast and Furious. Just that I never even saw 9 and 8 was, we did it for the podcast. I did. It was a bit ridiculous.
9 is wild, dude. They go into outer space. So,
like Avatar.
I think Avatar has to go into outer space, right? They have to bring the fight to the Sky People in 5, right?
Where they overrun the Earth?
I don't know how they could.
I feel like they have to find a way because how else are they going to stop all the clones? They're going to just keep making more avatars and send them down. And,
I guess they could commandeer a ship, right? Yeah. That would be the way to do it. All right, let's see. Star Wars prequels or Avatar?
Avatar, but that's just because I'm not. I mean, I know there's a lot of people who at least defend George Lucas's vision and the idea of like him controlling the vision of the series, like the purity of his like vision or whatever. Kind of like James Cameron with Avatar. Like it's like you do kind of sit there being like, okay, this is what he wanted, and he's the god who controls this. So like you just have to accept this is what it is. But a bunch of the movies aren't great. So
give me the prequels.
Dude, Clone Wars, I watched that recently, and it's a rough watch. That's tough. I'm a huge episode 1 guy, but Clone Wars is brutal. All right, now
Attack of the Clones or Clone Wars, the animated series.
Shoot, whatever, man. Attack of the Clones, second one. All right. All right, Star Wars sequels or Avatar?
I'd probably go Star Wars sequels, although the last one is quite funny. But like I actually ended up if we're lumping in like Solo and Rogue One, but I like both those a lot. Rogue One's great. Solo, I actually thought was underrated. I thought that was a really rather solid entry and everything. It's only that third one that is quite ridiculous and has been memified to high heaven at this point.
Rise of Skywalker, yeah.
I think people are coming around on the Rian Johnson one
for sure. I remember
I'm not a big Star Wars guy, but I'm going to get a lot of people that are going to turn this podcast off right now, but Rogue One and Solo are probably my favorite Star Wars movies.
Of all, even including the original,
of all 9.
Of all 9, that's great. Well,
of the 9 plus the
2.
Plus the 2. The plus 2 are my favorite.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy because the first, I mean, A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. I mean, you can definitely. I don't.
Empire Strikes Back would be my third favorite.
But yeah, Return of the Jedi is still got its stuff because like the beginning of Return of the Jedi is the Jabba the Hutt portion of it, and you can take that out and just it by itself is amazing. So.
All right, and then let's see. I should probably just end on this one, but we'll do. I think I already know, but I don't know. The Hobbit or Avatar? The Hobbit series or Avatar?
I never finished the Hobbit series. I mean, the books, I love the books. Books I will choose, being one book called The Hobbit. The franchise, I never actually watched the movies, the Hobbit movies. In the end, I should actually go back and watch them.
Okay.
But there's a lot to them for a very thin book. So
I don't know that you'll be overly impressed, but I do have the one in 3D. We can watch that.
It's the first one or all 3?
I can get all 3 in 3D.
Once you get all 3 in 3D, we'll watch them. We'll do a marathon together, and we'll hold hands.
As a Lord of the Rings fan, the Hobbit movies stunk, but I would still watch them over Avatar.
Okay, can I do a couple? Halloween franchise or Avatar?
Dude, I've never seen
Nightmare on Elm Street or Avatar.
I'm not a horror buff.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I haven't seen
Avatar.
No.
Hellraiser or Avatar? How about Pumpkinhead or Avatar?
No.
Dude, that's on my watch list, sitting in my shelf.
My horror movies are all sci-fi, like space, outer space sci-fi.
So like Jason X?
No.
Leprechaun 4 in space?
I mean more like Alien and The Thing.
I love The Thing. I think it's often
those are amazing.
Often listed as the top movie for me of all time. I just like my favorite movie. I love The Thing. Anyways,
top 10 for me.
I love horror. I've seen all those movies, but I didn't as a kid. It was actually a very, very late breaking thing in my life that I watched all those movies, and that's how I end up in Five Nights at Freddy's too.
Dude, crushing living that life. I mean, it wasn't until much later that I got into them. I remember when I was younger, there was stuff coming out. I think it was more slasher stuff or things like Jeepers Creepers, whatever, and I was like, what is this? But then I watched some things much later, like the Blair Witch Project. I watched that significantly later, and I was like, this is awesome. Dang. This is really good.
That one is freaky. It is kind of lives up a little bit to what I was going for.
Yeah, I was surprised, but that's it. That's what I got. So,
all right, Brom.
This or that.
Brom, you promised a lot here. All right. Is it?
I think we'll live up to it.
Can I venture a guess? Is this a place? Is it a place for Mom?
You sneaky dog. Oh, yeah. You sneaky dog.
Tube 3 ready to fire, sir.
Commence the countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give it to me.
It's been so long, guys. It's been so long since we've recorded. There have been so many developments in our personal lives and just, our careers, just everything going on. But there's also been technological advancements. And you know what I'm thinking? I'm talking about artificial intelligence.
Oh, no. Oh no, I don't like where this is
remarkable. This remarkable topic or concept called artificial intelligence. That's really becoming very accessible at the consumer level, and it's making our lives a lot easier. Maybe it's too easy for some. It's creating sort of laziness and lethargy in some people, and myself included. Because when it came time to make a countdown for tonight's episode, I'm like, what if AI could help me?
Oh, no.
Create a top 5 fun facts about Avatar as if it were written by a Place for Mom living community blog. And here we are. So here we are with the top 5 Avatar fun facts that you need to know from a Place for Mom living community ChatGPT version. Number 3, the elders of Pandora are quietly central to survival. In much the same way, older adults in our families and communities are living libraries, offering wisdom, history, and emotional grounding that helps everyone thrive. So remember that, guys, as you get together at holiday time here with your elders, your parents, your grandparents. Just remember that.
Call them a living library.
Can I ask you
this life lesson?
Can I ask you a quick question
that we learned from Avatar 2? Sure. What's up?
Why did you not use this AI to produce a new list of greater than or octogenarians that your mom should be hooked up with? Which is what that's what I want, a new list. Brom.
You want me to consult? I don't know. What was the octogenarians?
Was that what it was?
It's got to be people over 80, right?
Was it people over 70?
With octo, and I would guess 80.
No, I know. I don't think it was. I can't remember. But wasn't that the original Place for Mom?
Yeah.
It was like
the sexiest
people over 70
male
years old.
Actors over 70.
No, it wasn't even male actors necessarily, because like Harry Belafonte around there.
Well, that just gives us more reason to record. We need to, I can make that for next episode.
Definitely make that for next episode.
If we have a handsome old man as like a protagonist in the movie.
I'll have to think through that.
Sorry, that was number 5, not number 3.
That was my main thing. I was like, why did we start with number 3?
Number 4, the film was made with long-term vision in mind. This long-view perspective aligns closely with senior care planning, where thoughtful decisions today about housing support and community help ensure comfort and peace of mind in the years ahead. So I bet you guys didn't know that when James Cameron was making this movie.
Dude, did you know he filmed 2, 3, and part of 4 all at once?
I heard actually. Spoiler alert!
I did not.
I have heard that is part of
The timeline.
well, just some structural aspects of 3 that can be a little bit harder to understand as like a viewer. Like it's in the end, because things were all filmed at the same time, but then released 3 years later, they end up having to like shuffle. From what I've heard, they've had to shuffle some scenes around and stuff like that to like make sure that people remember something, even though in the context of like what is filmed, there's no need to explain it because it was like filmed as like one big movie. And then they're kind of cutting it up. So like you can feel a little bit of that cutting is what I've heard, to kind of be like, oh, we need to explain this thing again. So they kind of like repeat, or they'll throw a scene in or a flash, or whatever. I don't even know how they do it, but they throw something in there or an explanation in there that feels a little bit like extraneous or extra or whatever. So.
Okay.
Those are good fun facts, guys. Those are almost as if they're actually real.
Almost.
Number 3. Did you guys know in this film, water was chosen as a symbol of memory and continuity? For seniors and caregivers alike, this symbolism speaks to continuity, honoring the past, supporting the present, and gently preparing for what comes next with dignity and care.
Gently preparing for your death.
Preparing. Number 2, real-life freedivers inspired the Metakaina way of living. So those water Navi. This emphasis on mindfulness, breath control, and gentle physical awareness mirrors practices often encouraged in older adulthood, such as aquatic therapy, breathing exercises, and low-impact movement that support long-term wellness, all available at A Place for Mom.
Is that actually from A Place for Mom, or is that AI claiming that it's at A Place for Mom?
That's AI claiming.
Okay, good.
But I bet you can get it.
Yeah, you probably can. And what's crazy, I mean, like Sigourney Weaver, right? Senior citizen.
Yeah, probably needed all this.
She did all this stuff, and she said when James Cameron came to her, he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to need you to like be able to hold your breath for like 3 or 4 minutes or 2 or 3 minutes for scenes. She's like, I can maybe do that for 30 seconds. What are you talking about? And then they had them all working with free divers. She said the first time I did it, it was like a minute and a half. And then before you know it, they're doing it for 5 minutes at a time. So I don't know how long you guys think you can do it right now?
I've eclipsed 2 minutes before.
You serious?
Yep.
Are you a
I don't think
maniac?
I can do that, yeah.
I am.
45 seconds. I don't know.
Yeah, I know, right?
Comfortably a minute, but I can do over 2 if I had to.
Sounds like I know what we're going to do after this countdown. We're just going to breath holding competition.
We should do it on the podcast.
That is podcasting. That's good podcasting.
Is that what season is that one?
Just
breath holding podcast.
Until we get to 7 minutes or 10 minutes.
Like, oh my God, yeah, we gotta break Kate Winslet's record.
And finally, number 1, the film's central theme is learning how to adapt at any age. Director James Cameron has shared that The Way of Water is ultimately about adaptation, learning new ways of living when circumstances change. In the film, the Sully family must leave what's familiar and learn the customs of the ocean-dwelling Metakaina clan. This idea resonates deeply with older adults navigating new chapters, whether that's moving to a senior community, adjusting to changing health needs, or discovering new routines later in life. Do it at A Place for Mom senior living community.
Dear God. First of all, the fact that this AI did not right off the bat say James Cameron is a very handsome, healthy 71-year-old man who your mom should date
I'm just going to ask right
disqualifies everything that has been said so far. That should have been first point
Top 5
up front, because James Cameron is an old person, and that is A Place for Mom. Right?
Gentlemen, we going to say over 70 or over 80?
I think it was over 70, because I think we were debating, certain people and kind of being, could they be over 70? And then being, oh no, he's 60. Because I think Jean-Claude Van Damme came up and Sly Stallone and stuff. And it's like, at the time, I think there were a bunch of them where we were like, oh, we're not sure, It
wants me to log in.
Like Jean-Claude Van Damme is 65. Maybe 60. Was it 65? Because that's like kind of senior living. Because Jean-Claude Van Damme's now 65.
I would think so. Ooh, here we
got
go.
Buns of Steel. So.
I know Sidney Poitier was on there.
Yeah, but he's like real old. Same thing.
I think he's dead.
Well, now, yes.
So we got.
Yeah, I think did we do a recap of it where I feel like did I do a recap of one of the episodes where I went through and I think it was only 3 out of 10 of the people had died or something like that, but it was like the first 3 that were on the list or something had all passed away. So then it seemed like everyone was going to be dead, but then it was like no, the rest of them are living. They're all alive. Like Clint Eastwood and they're all still alive.
You talking about hot older men? Is that what you're talking about?
Like Belafonte, he passed away, I think, right? Harry Belafonte. Harry
All right, we got it.
Belafonte.
We have top 5 from ChatGPT, aka A Place for Mom.
Right.
Number 5, Kevin Costner.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's a good one. I think at the time.
Western charm, strong presence, and the kind of man who looks like he'd fix something around the house and listen thoughtfully.
But just emphasis on just looks like he'll fix something around the house.
Yeah, looks like it.
And he's now
He'll pay
70, so I think at the time that we maybe did this originally, he would not have fit the whatever age limit. Yeah.
Number 4, definitely it wasn't 70 either. Hugh Jackman. Rugged but warm, musical theater talent, movie star looks, and genuine good man vibes that moms love.
Hugh Jackman.
Wait, how old is Hugh Jackman?
He's 57.
Oh, shoot. I had 70 originally, and then I had to log in. I had to ask the prompt again.
Are you
I was
sure?
gonna say,
maybe.
I just watched movie 43 this year, and there is no way that Hugh Jackman would be that old.
That was crazy.
Dang.
All right, we're getting an update here. He's been swapped out with Kevin Costner's been swapped out.
Well, Kevin Costner
for Sam Elliott, who's 80.
Oh yeah, Sam Elliott.
Oh, here we go.
Number 4, Richard Gere.
Sure.
Number 3, newly 70, Denzel Washington.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
That's hard to believe.
70?
Distinguished, confident, and timeless. The kind of handsome that comes from integrity as much as looks.
Yeah, but you got to think about the Equalizer films, right? Like in the first one, he was probably late 50s, and then he's like in his then late 60s. Like just follows the timeline of the Equalizers.
It's true.
Dude, I had not seen those, and Alex recommended them to me. Those are good. I mean, the second one's a little.
I think my parents watched that. They stayed the night for Christmas last year. They watched Equalizer 3.
Is Liam Neeson on the list?
Yeah.
He is a honorable menschie.
He's a little menschie.
At 72. He's with Robert Redford, Paul McCartney, and Harrison Ford.
Well, Robert Redford now. He passed away.
I love the caption next to Harrison Ford. 82, grumpy hot, still flies planes.
I'm not sure he should be. Sorry, who was number 1?
Number two is Pierce Brosnan at 72 years old. And number 1, kind of obvious, George Clooney.
Oh.
Still the reigning Silver
70?
Fox King, 74. Effortlessly stylish, warm smile, and that I'd bring flowers and remember your birthday energy.
He's 64. 64.
This says 74.
Do you know why? Because AI is a bunch of bullshit. End the episode.
Thank you for listening to Submersion. Don't forget to subscribe for new episodes every Thursday. If you like what you heard, please leave us a rating wherever you listen. Want to interact with us? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We also love to get messages from all of you. If you have a suggestion, a comment, or just anything you'd like to share, please email us at macestudios@gmail.com. Anything we got to get out of the way before we start this?
No, I think we should just...
The fact that we're all wearing glasses.
I know.
This is the first
That's
time
what I'm saying.
this
It's
has
older. It's just like the older. I'm wearing house shoes.
You have house shoes?
I wear shoes in the house now. For my
You have
feet.
dedicated house shoes.
For my feet. Kyle.
Is that an old person
to
thing?
make sure my feet improve their health.
Wow.
You know that my
You are
feet need
old
health.
as Fuck. I know that. I know. Your feet are in a bad spot.
They are.
But house shoes? You got orthotics in them?
No, they're just like nice house shoes. We can put this at the end of the episode.
Yeah, I'll just move this on over. Yeah, it'll be good. All right. Good God.